I recently had to experience something that scarred me for life. But what I did after was even crazier. "Burden, you'll be," Jason sneered, shoving an eviction notice after draining the bank. He thought I'd beg. He didn't know I held the deed to a mansion that would make him kneel. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us. Jason's eviction notice trembled in my hand, but my voice stayed ice flat. "So that's it?" I asked. He shrugged, pocketing my last disabled worker check like it was lint. The back door slammed behind his swagger, leaving the kitchen clock's tick to judge me. Friends, have you ever felt a clock mock you? I had, right then. The moment he drove off to start fresh with Sabrina from accounting's money, the humiliation scorched every nerve. Yet a spark of wicked calm flickered. Jason believed I was a liability on crutches. I knew I was an undercover land baron. 6 months earlier, an estranged great-aunt had died and, long story short, left me a trust large enough to buy the abandoned Davenport estate on Lake Erie. I'd signed paperwork in secret because Jason always called my dreams crypt-pled fantasies. Imagine the grin I hid while he insulted me at dinner. Unaware transfer deeds sat in my purse. I didn't go straight to the mansion that first night. Instead, I camped in my dusty sedan, paperwork spread across the dashboard like war maps. I let memories of childhood Ohio summers drift in. Fireflies over cornfields, Mom's cinnamon rolls fogging every screen door, because nostalgia steadies rage like a quiet metronome. I slept 2 hours, woke at dawn, and drove west. Lake mist kissed the Davenport gates as they rolled open for the first time in decades. Columns the color of old ivory flanked a veranda wide enough to swallow our entire duplex. Here's where I'll lose him, I promised myself, trailing calloused fingers along sandstone balusters. The caretaker, Mrs. Chavez, greeted me with fresh coffee and a confidentiality contract. "Sign here, Ms. Randall, and no one will know you own the place." I signed twice. That secrecy clause was the velvet rope around my plan. Weeks passed. I flipped Jason's insult into fuel, rehabbing the mansion with contractors who addressed me as ma'am and never asked personal questions. During breaks, I'd sit in the solarium and replay Jason's favorite jabs, deadweight, drain, anchor, until they sounded cartoonish. Did you ever notice how cruel words shrink when you repeat them alone? Try it. It's therapeutic. While the ballroom floors were refinished, I learned Jason lost his desk job for borrowing corporate funds to impress Sabrina. The rumor hit Facebook late one humid Thursday. I sipped iced tea beneath a ceiling fan carved like angel wings and felt a small, fierce bloom of satisfaction. The next day, his rental crashed. The lender reclaimed his Mercedes. My mansion's gravel driveway, meanwhile, filled with landscaper trucks paid in cash. A month later, my realtor friend Lexi whispered that Jason's credit had flatlined. Sabrina dumped him, posting a selfie captioned, "No burdens allowed." Poetic, right? When Lexi laughed, I tasted that cinnamon roll air again, only sweeter. Folks, revenge smells like pastry if you do it right. Then came the knock. Rain battered the veranda as Jason, soaked and shivering, blinked at the iron doors he'd never seen. "Grace? I heard you were here. Please, just for tonight." His voice cracked on tonight. I let him stew beneath the porch light long enough to feel the cold crawl under his collar. I stepped aside. "Guest wings that way. Hand your phone to Mrs. Chavez, no pictures." The guest room was tasteful but spare. Single bed, no view of the lake, certainly no Wi-Fi. I locked the wine cellar. Petty, maybe, but satisfying. You're probably wondering why I didn't toss him right back into the storm. Simple. Stage lights need darkness behind them. Let the audience lean in. Morning brought the second act. Jason slunk into the kitchen, eyeing marble counters like forbidden pearls. "This place yours?" he rasped. I set a mug before him. Black coffee, no sugar. "Technically, it's held in a trust," I said. "But let's call it mine." I slid my agreement across the island. It named him caretaker of the old duplex, rent-free, conditional on two things. He recorded a video apology for financial abuse, and he signed over any claim to my past earnings. Watching his pen hover over the signature line felt better than a summer parade. He balked. I raised a brow. Sign or find another couch. He signed. Smooth. His downfall wasn't done, though. Karma likes a curtain call. Later that week, the company he'd stolen from pressed charges. Guess which apology video hit their lawyer's inbox? I simply forwarded the link. Double loss achieved. Career wrecked. Pride obliterated. The trial drew local news. Reporters camped at the duplex, not the mansion. Privacy clause still airtight. Jason's last possessions were auctioned to cover court fees. I attended in sunglasses, bidding on nothing, treasuring the gavel's thud each time. Can you picture watching your ex's beloved gadget collection vanish one hammer after another? Trust me, it's a masterclass in poetic rhythm. Back at the estate, I inaugurated my new gallery by hanging a single-framed page, the eviction notice he'd served me. Guests always asked, and I'd smile. Conversation piece. Outside, the lake glittered like a seized crown. Every ripple murmured, "Not a burden." The day the verdict came, guilty, restitution ordered, Jason phoned from his sister's basement. He begged for a corner of the mansion. My response was softer than he deserved. "Jason, the caretaker's cottage is booked for someone who knows my worth." I wasn't lying. Lexi had moved in to manage events. Sisterhood moment, check. Sunset poured amber through stained glass, while I penned my final line for you, dear listener. If his words ever echo in your head, remember mine. Never mistake quiet strength for dead weight. I rose, he sank, balance restored.